Okay, so for this evening's video notes, our topic is consumers and producers, and our essential question is, can you describe the different types of organisms in our ecosystem?
So organisms need energy in order to grow, reproduce, and maintain homeostasis. And then no organisms can create energy, and it can only use energy from other sources. And that's the law of thermodynamics. You cannot create energy, it can only be cycled throughout the ecosystem.
The ultimate source of all energy, at least here on Earth, is, of course, our own sun. Hopefully that's review for you.
Okay, so however though, some organisms in different variety of ecosystems, instead of using the sun as energy, they use a variety of chemicals. So certain bacteria that are in the deepest, darkest, most extreme environments wouldn't be able to get to the sun, so they use chemicals instead to get their energy.
So producers, this is the first type of organism found in an ecosystem. Those are organisms that convert energy, remember that being either sun or chemicals, into food. So we call these autotrophs, and you break them down to the root words. Auto means self, and troph means food, so they're kind of like self-feeding organisms. They're getting their energy directly from the sun or from the chemicals in their environment.
Normally, when we're talking about examples of autotrophs or producers, you can use those interchangeably, synonymously. We're talking about plants, right? Think trees, leaves of plants, but there also are some bacteria that can produce really sort of their own energy, if you will.
Then we're coming into this word called consumers. Now consumers, they can't capture energy directly, so they must obtain their energy by consuming other organisms, eating other organisms. And another word we can use for consumer is heterotroph. Now if you look at the word heterotroph, there are two root words, hetero and troph. Hetero means different, and troph again means food. So these consumers, these heterotrophs, have to get a variety of different foods in their diet in order to survive and get their energy they need.
So here's some examples of consumers or heterotrophs. So remember, these are ones that are getting their energy source from other organisms in the ecosystem. Some of the bigger ones you can think of are like bears getting their energy from the fish that they eat, or cheetahs or zebras eating, or like for instance deer eating the grass. They are getting the energy from the grass that they're eating. And humans, we are also heterotrophs as well. We have to get our energy from the food that we eat. We cannot get it from the sun like plants can.
So there's different types of consumers or heterotrophs, again, interchangeably, and this should be reviewed for you, hopefully, from life science. But if you remember, carnivores are your meat eaters, right? Kill and eat other animals. Herbivores, eating plants, roots, seeds, leaves, those types of things, anything plant-based. And then omni, meaning all, right, would be more like us, bears, fall into that category. Other primates eat both plants and animals.
There's also scavengers. Scavengers eat carcasses of dead animals. There's also decomposers, is also a consumer. They feed off the decaying matter that's in our soil, for example, worms, fungi, or bacteria.
Okay, so within ecosystems, these organisms inhabit what's called a niche. And a niche is a range of physical and biological conditions where a species lives, obtains food to survive, and reproduce. So it's kind of like their role in the environment. So you can think of niche like an occupation, their job. An organism needs to do certain things in order to make a living. So they have their niche, their role within the ecosystem.
So just to give you a fun example, this organism is called a paca, and they live in the rainforest. And paca are, their role or niche is called a seed dispenser. They like to take these little seeds and they like to hide them so they can use them and get them later. So they'll hide them in different spots around the rainforest, and sometimes they forget where they hide them. So they're basically seed dispensers. They are planters so that new plants and such can grow.
So a habitat is a general place where an organism lives. So within the habitat, there's multiple organisms with their niches within that habitat. And organisms can tolerate only a certain range of conditions. So this influences where an organism can live. That's why you don't see kangaroos in the Arctic, for instance. They have a specific niche, a specific role, and they live in a very specific habitat.
All right, so now we're on to the questions that we would like you to fill in. And remember, you use your video note form. There's 2 of them. First one is, what is another name for a producer/consumer? And you have 4 options here. A is carnivore/herbivore, B, heterotroph/autotroph, C, autotroph/heterotroph, and D, decomposer/scavenger. So again, which of these most aligns with producer/consumer? And then the second one, excuse me, what are the 3 root words from the ecology unit that you found in this presentation?
Now again, don't forget to go back and interact with your notes too. Have the 2 questions and summary per page of notes that you took in this video. Also for the Google form, make sure you're signed into your Google account. Sometimes the Google form doesn't work if you're not logged into the Google account. So troubleshoot by doing that first.